We come to you now from this beautiful church, St. Nicholas in Wilkes-Barre, a parish community that has always taken great pride in its music ministry. In this next segment, we'll have the opportunity to talk with the pastor, Monsignor Joseph Rauscher, and organist Ed Loch, to see how a piece of music history from the former St. Casimir's church in Pittston is now living on here at St. Nicholas. Monsignor, for the benefit of people who are not familiar with the story of this beautiful new organ here at St. Nicholas, can you tell me how this project got off the ground?
Well, this particular project got off the ground because the parish, first of all, had a history of having a pipe organ. It originally, in the 1900s, had a Moller organ, and then in 1980, an electronic organ was placed because after the flood they tried to repair things and restore the old organ, and some synthetic material was used which did not last, and in the midst of some discouragement they went to an electronic organ. And since then, many people, including the former pastor, Monsignor Meyer, always used to comment, we miss the pipe organ and it would be so nice to have a pipe organ. Then a few years ago, as some of our churches began closing, I had heard that there were some pipe organs available in Scranton and different places, and I mentioned it to our organist, Mr. Loch, and Mr. Loch was interested, but none fit our church. And then Monsignor Bendick, pastor in Pittston, who's a very good friend of mine, mentioned that they were wanting to sell their organ, and there didn't seem to be a market for buyers, and that it had been kept up. And so Mr. Loch and I talked, and we gathered together a committee of people who went up to listen to the organ, and we, at that point, were considering a capital fund drive for a variety of improvements needed in the parish and repair work to be done, and so the organ was included within that. And it's very fitting. The organ from St. Casimir's in Pittston was played by Bronis Viveris, who was their choir director and organist for many years, and previous to his going up there, he had been the organist here. So it's coming back here to St. Nicholas where he had been, and the thought was that the other organ was getting older, and to replace electronic organ would be also very expensive considering the size of what we had here. And pipe organ, if we could get something done fairly close in the price range, would be a very good gift for the church. And so it was presented to the people, and many people were excited about it. People and the parish has a great tradition of music and choirs, and people were pleased with the prospect that we could again have a pipe organ.
Now that this project has come to fruition, and you and the people have had the opportunity to hear this incredible instrument, what does it mean for you in this parish community?
We're very excited that it's come to fruition. It still has a long way to go for its completion, but I think I was told only 1/3 of the pipes are currently working, but it sounds beautiful, the tone. I didn't understand it before when they said the difference a pipe organ would make in sound. I really didn't understand that. I'm not a musician, but I can tell just this past weekend when we used it for the first time for all of the music at all the masses, I could notice the richness and the smoothness and almost gentleness of the sounds as compared to electronic sounds.
And the parish community, obviously, they were fully behind it. I mean, if this capital campaign didn't have their support, this organ would never become a reality. What do you think it means for the parish community to have such a beautiful organ? Is it enhancing their experience of liturgy?
Well, hopefully it will. As I said, it's a parish that is rich in its tradition with liturgy and music. Back in the first 3/4 of the 20th century, the 1900s, we had a well-known men's choir. There were, I think, one of the first radio Christmas programs was done from St. Nicholas, a midnight mass. So it has a rich tradition, and there's many rich traditions here at St. Nick's. So I think people are excited to maintain those traditions, and music being among their favorite.
Monsignor, over the last several years, we've witnessed the consolidation of several parishes across the Diocese of Scranton. And unfortunately, with that, we've seen many of our churches shut down. I'm sure it was a painful experience and a very sad experience for the people of St. Casimir's. But do you think it offers them some consolation when they know that a piece of their parish community is living on here at St. Nicholas?
Well, I would hope it will be for them. It's been a very sad situation, a reality for so many people throughout the area whose churches have had to close over the recent years. So to have a part of their church living here, I think, would be of comfort to them. I know one of the very heartbreaking things for people is when there are things that were dear to them are no longer anywhere, or when they hear, well, our windows were taken to a new church down in North Carolina, or our altar is now in Florida, as has happened with one of the Pittston churches. You know, it gives them consolation, I believe, to them, and comfort to know, well, something of us is still living somewhere and breathing and providing a lot of comfort and consolation and hope to other people. So I hope that for the people of St. Casimir's, it is very important.
Ed, you were telling me that going back to May of 2008, that was the first time you had an opportunity to drive up to Pittston and not only see this incredible instrument, but also to play it. What were your impressions of this organ?
I was very impressed because I had been sent several times to look at different organs. And this particular time, I met Monsignor Bendick at St. John Evangelist, and we went together up the hill, Church Street, to St. Casimir's. I sat at the console, and I was impressed with, first of all, the appearance, the keys. It had been kept in reasonably good shape. Then I went through every division, every rank, and found that it really was in not bad condition at all. Mostly all the pipes were speaking. And I did a little playing with him there, and I liked it. I liked it very much, and he had to go on his way. I went on my way, and it stayed in my mind. And I thought, I think I want to hear it again. So I called and I said, may I come by and have the keys? I really want to spend time alone with the instrument. Go up there and play. And I took a stack of music with me and went up for about 2 hours and just played it and played it. And by the end, I came back, I said to Monsignor Rauscher, it's really a very fine instrument. It's worth going for. It's a Moller. It's from 1920. The Moller instruments, especially this time, have a very warm sound, a very romantic sound, a lot of strings, and I just thought in this space it would sound really fantastic.
Ed, when you consider the rich history of music here, why is this organ such a gift to St. Nicholas Parish?
Well, this pipe organ is probably the best way to reinforce that people here love to sing, and they love good music. And I've had friends come here from other churches. One in particular is Lawrence Rosania, who's written As Grains of Wheat, Supper of the Lord. He's come here several times. In fact, we commissioned him to write a piece for our anniversary. And when he came here, it was for 40 hours. We were sitting side by side on keyboards down in front, And after the opening song, he turned to me, he said, "My God, Ed, do you rehearse your congregation?" And I said, "Well, this is just the way they are. They come to take part in liturgy, and they do it."
I can't even imagine the work that was involved in bringing the organ from St. Casimir's in Pittston down here to St. Nicholas in Wilkes-Barre. What did the project entail?
Well, it was very slow-moving. First of all, we had to get who we thought was the best person to do it, and that was the Crossan-Savage Organ Company. Steve Sykes is president. He knew the instrument, he knew the space, he had worked on it, and he knew the instrument. He came here, he examined our space to see if it was possible. Will it fit? St. Casimir's pipe case is a very wide and not deep. Here, we're not so wide and very deep and very high. But he did the measurements and back and forth, and he made quite a few trips to see if it would fit. And he came back and said, yes, yes.
Ed, now that this has become a reality, what goes through your mind as you're playing this magnificent instrument in your home parish?
Well, it's probably about as good as it gets. A pipe organ is such an interesting thing. It's like a living being. Every time you play it, it sounds different. It responds to the weather, it responds to the people, it responds to the space. If you ask people about organs and the different stops on the organ, many times you'll hear the most important stop is the space or the building that it's in. And this church is magnificent. The size, the height, the wood, just makes this instrument come alive. You don't just hear it, you feel it. And the choir themselves, firsthand, can attest to that.
Ed, I can't even imagine how sad it was for the parishioners at St. Casimir's when they finally had to shut down their church. But do you think this organ offers them a little peace of mind knowing that a part of their community is living on here at St. Nicholas?
I'm quite sure it is. I've been at AGO meetings. I was to one recently in Pittston, and they asked me to speak about the progress of this project. And some people approached me afterwards, and they had no idea. And these women, some of them were in tears at the thought that this instrument will sound again. Because really, when they did lock the doors, this was the last thing they heard.
How grateful are you, how blessed do you feel to now have this incredible instrument here at St. Nicholas?
The motto for organists is Soli Deo Gloria, the glory of God alone. It was Johann Sebastian Bach who penned that on every piece of music he wrote. So I believe all organists are very spiritual-centered people, and can't help to be thankful when we said it's such a beautiful instrument.
We close the program today with an Advent selection performed by organist Ed Loch here at St. Nicholas Parish in Wilkes-Barre. On behalf of the staff at Catholic Television, I'd like to wish you and your loved ones a very merry and blessed Christmas.